Some even sent back home in secrecy, their war contributions brushed aside. But nothing revealed the colonial double standard more brutally than the issue of pensions and back pay. After the war, France and Britain paid white veterans monthly stipends and lump sums. African veterans? Most received nothing. Some were offered a fraction of what their European comrades got. Others were told their service records were lost or never officially recognized. This wasn't just neglect, it was policy. French authorities feared that if African soldiers received the same benefits as white veterans, they might start asking for equality back home. They might start demanding independence. So instead, the empires buried the evidence. They called it administrative backlog. Or worse, they sent military police to silence those who complained. But in 1944, the silence broke, and the world could no longer pretend not to hear what happened next. The massacre at Thiaroye wasn't just an isolated act of violence. It was the culmination of a betrayal years in the making. In November 1944, hundreds of Tirailleurs Sénégalais, African soldiers recently repatriated from European POW camps, were temporarily stationed at a military camp in Thiaroye on the outskirts of Dakar, Senegal. These men had fought valiantly for France. Many had been captured by the Nazis, spent years in harsh German prison camps, and were finally released after the liberation of France. They returned home expecting justice, compensation, and reintegration into civilian life with dignity. What they got was another prison. When the soldiers reached Thiaroye, they were ordered to stay in the camp and wait for their demobilization payments. But those payments never came. Instead, the French authorities offered only a fraction of the promised back pay. The soldiers refused. They had endured the humiliation of being second-class troops. They had been left to rot in German POW camps, while white French prisoners were prioritized for release. They had survived, only to be cheated by their own military. The soldiers peacefully protested, refusing to leave the camp until their demands were met. But colonial authorities saw this not as a labor dispute, but as mutiny. On December 1st, 1944, under direct orders from high-ranking French officials, French colonial troops surrounded the camp with armored vehicles and machine guns. Then they opened fire. It was a massacre. Official French reports initially claimed that only 35 soldiers were killed, but survivors and historians estimate the number to be at least 70 to 300 dead. The bodies were buried in mass graves. There were no memorials, no trials, no apologies. The French government labeled the men rebels,